All right, take three. Let me see if I can get this one done. So, I wasn't going to talk about the Arizona near total abortion ban from 1864, except two things happened. First, I had this conversation with a couple people that I know, and then the second thing that came up was that this Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas herself, who never saw a job application, that she wasn't going to be a little fast and loose with her ethnic background. She decided she was going to tweet a near total abortion ban from 1864, decades before women could vote and decades before Arizona was even a state, will soon take effect there. It's outrageous. Remember, this is brought to you by Trump. He supports cruel bans like these, and he made them possible by overturning Roe. All right. So I don't know how this has anything to do with Trump outside of the fact that he appointed two, we'll say, neoconservative justices to the Supreme Court that have been somewhere between not good and not bad. So I don't know what Trump really has to do with it, other than the fact that she needs some type of straw man. The other thing, and this is the main reason why I decided to do this video, is the conversation that I had about abortion led to the road of, yes, women should have the right to abortions as long as they give up the right to vote, because I can't cast the vote and then take it back when I change my mind. So if women want to get pregnant, they should be able to change their mind and take their vote back. So that may be a little spicy for most people, and that's fine. I understand that. It's just illustrating the point in this case that the libertarian in me, and I tend to lean that way, not libertarian, um, generally thinks that like the government should keep its snout out of as much stuff as possible. So at the end of the day, this abortion ban in Arizona should not be an issue for most people because they're not going to be in the doctor's office, and the doctor can voluntarily choose to do the procedure on a patient who consents to it. Now, that's just the long and short of how we need to get to where we need to get to on abortion. The slightly more detailed aspect of it is that when women consent to having sex with a man in order to get pregnant, um, it should be contractual, which means that both sides should have a say so on what occurs next. Now, that may be uncomfortable again for most people, but if we're going to try and be fair, it takes two to tango, and that's the long and short of it. So, if you want to get a little bit more detailed on the actual abortion issue, when most people are polled about it, because hey, they're single issue voters, generally like 70% of the country is okay with a first trimester abortion. They're not okay, like 90% of people, with a third trimester abortion, and then it's a coin flip when it comes to second trimester. So if this was an actual real issue outside of just like riling up the base of a voting block to show up come election season, then the Democrats would actually like put this to vote either nationally or state by state. But it's really not popular. The last time I saw a poll, and the Razor Fist on YouTube, he just came out and said that like it didn't move the needle in the 2022 elections. So overall, in general, it's not that big of a purpose. But again, if we're actually going to talk about what this is, when it comes to like states' rights, because that's one of the biggest things about why it should be kicked back to states. That's literally what Trump said about this. Is then we can have the marketplace of ideas and see if we can come to the best possible solution by having the personality of the states decide how they want to run their lives, how much they want the government to have their snout into the doctor's office. Now, again, we can literally talk about this when it comes to COVID, because geniuses, former Harvard law professors like Elizabeth Warren didn't have a problem with the government mandating that you have to get an experimental vaccine jammed into your arm. She didn't have a problem with that whatsoever. But what she has a problem with is the government telling women that they can't have take backsies, right? Because the other thing in this, when it talks about like things like, no exceptions for rape and incest. Well, there's two things involved with this. First of all, you can separate a medical procedure from a legal definition. The second thing is with rape and incest, there's automatically not consent involved with those two things that occur for the most part, hopefully with incest. But in general, there's not consent. So it would actually break your ability to get in the way of these things. And in general, one of the people I was talking about the other day was talking about that the right wing, the conservatives, are using like these late term post-birth abortions as this boogeyman, and that's true because abortions in general do not affect the lives of most women at all. It's just not something that will ever come up. It is peace of mind for most women to realize that, like, if they get put into a bad situation, that they have a way to get out. And I can empathize with that completely. I can sympathize with it. Um, but at the end of the day, it probably will not change how any women or most women feel if they do or do not have the right to an abortion, right? And again, it's not about a right, because that's what Dobbs was talking about with some of the dissenting opinions, or not the dissenting, the concurring opinions, was that, like, it creates a special legal status for not a woman, but a particular type of woman, a pregnant woman. So again, like, you can't have your full rights unless you're pregnant, which in and of itself is a very interesting, not progressive way to look at women, as walking, baby factories. So again, these legal geniuses. So we shouldn't be obfuscating the actual topics. And if we do, we should not be afraid to go into some very uncomfortable territory when it comes to what is actually going on with the topics. Like, can we really say that a woman who wants to be able to take back a decision she made should be able to also make decisions for other people within their community at the same time? I think those are rather incongruent. And if we do want to have some type of conversation in the future, we should probably be a little bit better than someone who doesn't know the law and pretends that they're a Native American.